It's Sunday 17th of July 2022, just trying out a longer run. I helped out with the park run at Eastleigh yesterday. I'm now into Ampfield Wood. Just going to go through the eastern side of the wood and then join the Monarch's Way. So this is the same route I followed 2 weeks ago, but what I'll do when I get to Hursley on the Monarch's Way, I'm going to turn north up the high street and then go east, take a right hand turn at the pub and go across to Shawford on the Monarch's Way, carry on along there, and then Shawford I'll turn, come south back to where I started. That's the plan. So now I've got to find the path. So this track is, well, this little bit I'm on is the public right of way, but in a moment the public right of way dives off into the woods and you've really got to look out for it. Yeah, so this is the public right of way, so if I carry on along that trail I'm in theory trespassing, and it's just a little dog leg, but there used to be a sign on here, so that's obviously gone. So this is where local knowledge comes into it, and obviously if you're reading a map and following it, but otherwise you wouldn't know this was public right of way, and that isn't, even though you've just been on this trail. Anyway, that's my my little gripe for the day. It won't be the only one, you believe me. So well, on my way to Hursley on the Monarch's Way, this nice little grassy avenue, just past another runner going the other way. So he's the first one I've seen on the trails, or indeed any walkers. There are a couple of runners in Chandler's Ford as I was leaving it, a couple of dog walkers in Ampfield, but and that, it's been very quiet along here. So here I am in Hursley. There's the pub and the grocery shop, stroke butchers I think it is, and I'll take a turn here and then be back onto the Monarch's Way properly and across to Shawford. There's the church, started the bells up for me nicely. There's the main road to Winchester, and that's a little back road that takes you up into Oliver's Battery just outside Winchester. That's the way the Winchester half marathon goes. It's up there. There's a big climb to Oliver's Battery because you go from, I think this is about 40 or 50 metres above sea level, and you climb up to about 180 metres above sea level quite quickly. Okay, here's the lane coming up. So I'm on the lane, I'm free of roads again for 2 or 3 kilometres. Come past another church, come little cemetery in a moment, and I'm out into the country again. And there's the little Hursley cemetery. Back onto the Monarch's Way. I mentioned there's the open fields. Remember how lush and green that field looked when I ran through it 2 weeks ago? It was a hay field. I expect it to go like that. Here's the little back lane, and then the public footpath, otherwise known as the Monarch's Way, which I think, if my bad history doesn't elude me, was the way that King Charles fled. Why it's called the Monarch's Way, as he fled across the country on back lanes to avoid capture. Gone slightly, that doesn't look right at all. I think they've diverted the path, because I'm pretty sure that's the path straight line across there according to my map. but they've surrounded this field with electric cabling, as we can see here. There was no divert. I'm gonna run down, but that's definitely they've definitely diverted this path from where it should be, I'm pretty sure. So I'm gonna head back through the undergrowth and run down to the bottom of this field and then run along that edge there. But yeah, I'm not entirely convinced they've done the right thing here. Yeah, so unfortunately I've diverted down this lane because the Monarch's Way was blocked by electric fencing, no signage, so I don't know where there was an alternative. But I followed this path because it was right there. I know this goes down to Poles Lane, but I was hoping there was going to be another path across the field. Unfortunately, I might end up on Poles Lane, which sounds innocuous, but Poles Lane is a really quick road. There's no paths on it, and it goes between Hursley and Otterbourne. You might be able to hear a car going along it now. They do not hang about on that road. It's a lovely straight and they hammer it. So I'm going to see what's going to happen when I get there. I'm also going to check when I get back to see what permissions have been done for putting the electric fence across the public right of way and not signing it, and also not posting an alternate route that people can use, or even just go home, turn back, you know, kind of notice. So here I'm on, yeah, so I've just come out of that little hole in the hedge there, out of the woods, and now I'm just on the corner of a field. So there's nothing here. There's a cottage over there. I think there's a little lane I can get back to eventually, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get through to Shawford. Yes, I did come back and I've decided to step over it. There's that sign on there, should be fitted where public has access, complies with EU regulations. Funny, we're not in the EU anymore, but we'll get Brexit done one day. Boris ain't going to do it. In fact, he's already admitted it. Somebody else has got to get Brexit done now. So that lie was shown up, but not that anybody gives a flying what's it anymore. Anyway, sorry, I told you I'd have a moan about something else. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to carry on along the Monarch's Way now. So sorry about that. Apologies for dissing anything, but this isn't exactly obvious. But I suddenly thought as I was running around the field, you don't know in the best way of thinking when you have your way blocked. Thinking actually maybe those are insulators. It's not the best insulation in the world, and normally what I'd expect to see is a little even temporary gate put in with the cables running around or underneath the gate. Yeah, this is just cheap and cheerful and probably doing minimal compliance. Anyway, I don't know whether it's live, but I'm not going to chance it and find out, because they do give you a nasty belt. Nothing hopefully life-threatening, but the last thing you need is a cardiac arrhythmia on your own in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, I will carry on now along the Monarch's Way, that way, and I'm going to head for Shawford. I've just got to do a dink up through the little hamlet here, go left and then right again, and then Shawford is directly that way. Almost there, at the end of this stretch before I do the turn. There's all the sheep, obviously been moved into the adjacent field for grazing. Assume they were in here, which is why the electric fence has been put up. Normally this would be an arable field, but of course diversity is a handy thing nowadays. There we go, just to show I was on the right on the right trail, on a proper footpath for those who doubted me, which included me for a moment there as well. Right, okay, I'm just going to turn up the lane and jink across to Shawford. It's my first deer that I've seen as I come onto Shepherd's Lane, so I'm not sure whether this is going to divert me north again, because there's a farm. I know I can run through that farm, but this technically is Shepherd's Lane now, which is the lane into Shawford. Okay, there's a footpath sign up here. I was remembering right, it's just a bit rough and ready. It's obviously been reploughed and diverted, I think, at different times over the years. So just come through the farmyard. Here I'm back on Shepherd's Lane proper. coming into Shawford, so I've gone through Silkstead, a little hamlet back there, now to Shawford, and then once I get to the road there I turn right and head up into Otterbourne, and then I'm on the last leg heading home. Yeah, I'm pretty much at the end of Shepherd's Lane. Now you can hear the motorway, the M3, so I'm just going to go in this underpass, go underneath it, then I take a right turn and I'm heading down out of Shawford into Otterbourne. There's the tunnel underneath the motorway. Got about another 4 or 5k to go now. Legs are definitely feeling weary after those off-trail excursions into the fields, plus the heat. So I'm just going to take it easy for this last bit. There's the little road that I'm about to get onto through Otterbourne. Top of Otterbourne hill, a big old steep climb. So I decided to walk it. I'm going to start my cool down now, which is actually going to consist of a walk, not a jog. There's the cyclist. I would begrudge him there because there's a cycle path down there, but actually when he comes by, that's the second time, there's a nice cool breeze. So a little bit further up to the top of the hill, and then I'll switch into proper walking mode and get my heart rate down.